Afternoon.
Afternoon.
As you sit there now, Mikel, going into 24 hours out from the start of the season, how different do you feel going in as champions when you sit there and just for this moment, everything you've gone through, and all those second place finishes, to sit here and think, wow, we start the season as champions?
I feel good, different, hopefully better, more excited than ever, hungrier than ever, and I cannot wait to start the Premier League at home in front of our supporters and have a great performance and win the match.
They always say, I don't know, that very good teams win titles, but only the absolute greatest go and back it up. What's it about your side that you believe you could go and do it again? Because of course Arsenal haven't done it in nearly 100 years.
I think those teams have an incredible quality, which is to maintain the standards daily at the really highest level. And this is the opportunity that we have. I have no question that our players have that desire and that ambition to do that. Now it's something that we have to earn and do daily.
You've spoken about reinforcements over the past few weeks. How close are you to getting the defensive reinforcement that you want in? And when you look at the sort of calibre of player that's being linked with moving, what does it say about Arsenal and where they are? Because it's the sort of player that are Premier League ready, right at the top of their game. I mean, that shows just how much you want to go again, doesn't it?
Well, we are really active in the market. I think I mentioned that a few days ago, and the ambition is to improve the squad. Obviously, we have a really specific issue in the backline, especially with the long-term injury of Willie and the fact that we miss one more defender. That's clear. So we are trying to reinforce that area, and whenever we're ready, we will announce something.
Any closer? I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to happen before the start of the season, does it? But you're confident that in the next few days it'll get
I'm
done?
always positive, I'm always confident, but
Oh,
it's
so
something that I cannot control. It doesn't depend just on us. So we are willing to improve that area, and we're going to try our best to achieve that.
On the other side, there have obviously been a lot of stories with players possibly moving away, because you can only have obviously so many players in your squad. When you've gone on a journey with this group of players and you've created this incredibly close bond as a group, how brutal, how tough is it to turn around to these players and say, you're not going to get much game time this year? I mean, you've kind of nurtured these guys from kids to grown men, haven't you?
It's a great question. It's a really, really tough moment. We need to face that reality, but I think you need to face it with a real honesty and transparency, because when you are in the other side, that's exactly what you need. You might not like what you've been told, but if he's truthful, if he's the reality, if he's honest, and he's going to help you to make better decisions and have more clarity for the next steps in your career, you have to do that. And these are always very difficult conversations, but they need to be done. It's like when a player doesn't feel that he belongs or is important, he wants to have a different chapter. I think that communication has to exist, and it has to be both ways. And we all know that at the end, everything has a start and has an end. And when it comes to the end, I think our duty, our responsibility is to do it in the best possible way, maintaining the respect and the admiration for the play and the relationship, but understanding that at the end we need to make football decisions.
I know that you spoke after the game on Sunday about Martinelli not being in the squad, about Ranieri needing minutes. Is there any movement on either of those?
No.
Because a lot can happen in 3 days as we approach the end of the
Well, and we know on the last day it doesn't matter. So without talking any specifics, that's something that we are working on with every individual to understand, because I would like to have the squad as big as possible, because we know what we are fighting for, how long this is, and we learn again from the past, especially last year when we go in some difficulty, especially when we have 2 or 3 injuries in the same area of the pitch. So the deeper squad that we have, the better. We have to manage that, but the players have to feel important and value, and in order to do that, they need to play minutes.
Thank you.
Mimi from the Premier League.
Hi.
Hi, I just want to talk a bit about the mentality. Coming in as champions now, do you feel that you can breathe a little bit, or is there more pressure, the pep talk that you give to the players?
I mean, we need to breathe and we need to take this organically because this is going to be a long marathon as well. What we need to show is that desire and ambition to be better than what we were last season, a month ago, or a week ago when we play Man City, and we have the ability to improve, to evolve, and that's what I sense and I feel around the club and especially around the players.
Coming in for the first game, I saw stats saying that at home, Arsenal are unbeaten in 45 Premier League home games against promoted sides. Does that give you confidence going to the first game?
I think every game is different, and we're going to face a really tough opponent. I think what they've done as a club is remarkable. What Frank has done is incredible, and after so many years without being in the Premier League, they have earned the right to do that, and they've earned it in a really special way. Not only that they are where they are, they absolutely deserve where they are, and I love the way they play and the courage that they show in every game.
Speaking about how well they've done last season, they were the top scoring side, the best defensive side in the championship. Do you commend Frank Lampard in the work that he's done and what to expect from him this season?
Oh, it's unbelievable. That's what I just mentioned because I know all those stats, because I watch a lot of the games, because I know him when we face him, and he was at Chelsea as well. So, yeah, I think what he's done is remarkable, and I'm sure they will show the ambition on Friday night. So we are ready because we know what to expect.
Ian Talksport.
Hi Mikel, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Have you had time to enjoy the fruits of your labour from last year? You worked so hard to be champion. Have you actually had time to sit down and enjoy it?
Yes, I have. To enjoy, to reflect, it was time for everything. It was a long summer, longer than that we usually have, and yeah, just because I feel fresh, I feel motivated, I sense the enthusiasm around the place, and that's exactly what I want.
Because I mean, you were obviously busy in the first part of the summer of the World Cup, cheering on Spain to win the World Cup, so that's why I asked that question. How hard is it to defend the title? Once you've won it, how much harder is it to defend it?
We will find out. I mean, we haven't done it before, so I cannot really tell you. I had experience, but in a different role. And as I said before, it's about what you put in daily, where you set the standards, and how you drive those day by day to earn the right to be where you want to be at the end of May, to give yourself the chance to win it again.
I was thinking, driving here today, that you and Frank Lampard must really love football. You were top players, and you could quite easily just have the no pressure, be in the TV studio and do your punditry on the game. But you want to be managers, both of you. You want to succeed. You want to go through the tearing your hair out process and telling players when they're going to play and not going to play. Why is it you think that you two have succeeded in the last 12 months at this job, which is so difficult?
Yeah, probably because we share the passion and the love for the game, and that's something that fulfills you as a person, and it gives purpose to your life. That's the reason what I do with the people that I do it as well, and it brings me so much joy and happiness, and it's a part of my life that is really fulfilling, and I really enjoy.
Last one, I don't know how often you played against Frank Lampard. Memories of playing against him when he was with Chelsea?
I've seen a few videos about him and I on the pitch. What a player he was. He was one of my favorite midfielders by far. For what he could produce, he could do absolutely everything on that midfield. He was a top class player.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hi Mikel.
Hi.
Just a couple of fitness updates. Saka and Rice obviously came off the bench. Are they fit enough to start?
Yeah, they are ready to be involved, yeah.
And then during Timber said he might be able to join team training this week. Has that been the case?
No, I said in the next few weeks, and he's not training with the group yet.
Okay, and then in terms of squad size, managers like different size. What is the ideal number for you? What do you like to work with in your squad?
Well, it depends on the availability and the history of those players. I think there is a lot of factors that count. 22 outfield players and 3 goalkeepers of 4 is enough, or maybe you know more. I think you need to understand what happened in the previous season, the injury record of those players, the versatility of certain players. But and I'm sure we're going to hit the right number to to have a bit of both. Yeah, a lot of competition with the right level of cooperation in the team and everybody feeling important.
And with Bruno coming in, adding to that midfield, one of the best midfields in Europe, have you seen a lift from the other players because competition's got even harder, right?
Yes, that's what the new signings brings. Is a new energy, something to prove in front of them as well, and obviously a competition. And when you talk about players of that quality and leadership, the same with Christos or with Ilan, what they've done since day one, I think it lifts the level of everybody.
Tom, from London?
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Just quickly, is Bruno Guimaraes okay after coming off?
Let's see how it is. It's evolving really well, but let's see for tomorrow.
You talked a lot about evolution and going to that next level. Obviously, a lot of the games that were won last season, 1-0s, 2-1s, 3-2s, one goal wins in a lot of cases. Is, in your one evolution, wins by bigger margins? I mean, is it that simple? How broadly does evolution go?
Well, the more dominant we are and the bigger the margins, the better. So in order to achieve that, we're going to have to be much better in every department. In order to achieve that, we need to have a much better availability in the squad that we have last year for long periods of the season to be able that those margins become bigger.
And on Miles, just more definitively, are you confident he'll be an Arsenal player come the end of the transfer window?
100%.
Matt from the Standard?
Hi, Mikel. We've seen transfer fees go up and up every year, but the club's record sales still only 35 million, I think, from about a decade ago. Do you think historically Arsenal have been a bad selling club?
It's not bad or good. It's what you have in relation to the options that you have to sell. Maybe we've been extraordinary depending on the level of the players that we have, the ability and their contracts and their will to go. A possible issue that you can face is that maybe you want to make certain decisions with certain players, but they are that happy that they want to stay as well. So it's a lot of factors that have to be right when you have to sell a player. But yeah, it's not that simple in my opinion.
And so much investment last summer, strengthened again this window. Is it getting close to a stage where maybe the club can't bring any more people in until those sales are made?
Well, depending on the sporting success as well. I think there isn't any club in Europe that has had the growth that Arsenal had in terms of the value, in terms of the performances, in terms of the revenues. So that's something very big. Some of the clubs maybe they need to sell. I think we've taken an approach that has increased the level and the capacity of the club big time.
James, ESPN?
Mikel, when you go from finishing second for 3 years to being champions, and sort of go from hunting to being the hunted, if you like, do you feel there's a target on your back now? Do you say that to the squad that as champions there is a target on your back?
Today, no, because we start from scratch, from zero tomorrow, and we're going to have to prove if we have the level to go back to that position again. But I think that happened in the last 3 seasons. At some point we were first, some of the times we were chasing it, and you never know what is better. If you give me the choice, I want to be first, I want to be hunted, and I want to be in control of our future rather than depend on somebody else.
And a lot of the home games, particularly in the second half of the season, were quite intense, weren't they? Very emotional occasions as you were trying to get over the line. Do you think now you have done that the atmosphere will change, that it will be more, maybe not relaxed, but it will be a bit less emotional than it was last year?
I don't know. I think it's been an evolution in terms of the atmosphere 3-4 years ago, then 2 years ago, then last year. And yeah, when you are so close as well, at some point that atmosphere and the feeling not doing it again can restrict you. But then when I see the celebrations and the parade and those emotions, I'm very confident that we're going to have, in my opinion, the best stadium in the world and the best atmosphere in the world. Because if we do that, we're going to be much closer to achieve what we want to do again.
Art Athletic, over here.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Just picking up on Miles, a few Premier League clubs over the last few years have had to sell their academy players because it helps with their financial records. But when you talk about Miles there, and if you see someone who not just brings something on the pitch, but also off the pitch is probably the soul of the club, is it important to keep players that have those qualities as well?
Certainly. I mean, the players that have been raised in our system and they feel genuinely that love and that connection with the club, it brings something else. There is no question about that. And we need to look after them in a really special way because they bring value that is very difficult to find. That's why when we can, we want to protect those assets as much as possible, develop them and make them extremely important for the club.
And just from a more general perspective on youth development, it seemed maybe 10 or 15 years ago it was quite normal for top Premier League clubs, so Arsenal, Chelsea, to send their young players to other Premier League clubs on loan. So Jack Wilshere to Bolton, Daniel Sturridge to Bolton as well. Whereas recently it seems it's more loans abroad. Do you feel like, I don't know, maybe sending players on loan to the Premier League again could be beneficial for those young talents, not just at Arsenal but across the league?
I think those are individual cases. I mean, those players have to be ready as well to compete in the Premier League and to play regularly. The priority is to expose those players and give them minutes. You better agree that that's going to be the case. And how many clubs, teams, managers in this league can guarantee you that that's going to happen to a really young player that probably hasn't had exposure. If you find it, great, because that's the level that we want them to compete, but sometimes they need a different pathway. The beauty of this is that the pathway can be completely different and the outcome can be the same, and this is the magic of football as well.
We'll go to Hannah from Stan Sport Australia. TV.
Hi, I'm Mikel Arteta from A Current Affair in Australia. Arsenal has a third income following down under, and fans are stoked that every Premier League game is going to be broadcast on Stan Sport. Do you have a message for all of the Aussies who are going to be getting up in the middle of the night during the season to cheer on the Gunners? And can you give us your best g'day?
Well, make sure that they do, and I have a really special connection with that country, first of all, because I've been there, because I love it, because one of my best mates, Tim Cahill, is from there, so I know everything about it. So what you say, I have to say, g'day. G'day! So to all of them.
Thanks, Hannah. We'll go to Phil from PA.
Arsenal start the season as the favourites to win the league. Do you think that that's accurate? Is that the way that you see it?
It doesn't matter. Our friend is not here today with the supercomputer and all the stuff that we normally have.
Don't worry, he'll be back.
Well, I hope he's back. But yeah, I think it is what it is. I think our supercomputer and what it has to drive us is the standards against daily to be able to, day by day, and the right to position ourselves there in a really strong way and to play, to perform and to connect with our people in the manner that we want. And if that's the case, I'm sure we're going to be very close, and then the destiny will decide what happens.
You've got that first title under your belt. When you look around the dressing room, do you see a team or a squad that can go on and dominate this league, win title after title?
That we won't, I guarantee you with my life that that's the case, and how willing they are to achieve that. But we need to show, and that's only on the pitch and the way we act and react and overcome different challenges and opportunities over the season, whether we are capable of doing it or not.
Okay, last couple of years live. Ladies first.
Good afternoon, Mikel. Ricardo Fiore gets to go on the community show, but it seems to have gone under the radar. He seems like he can attain any attribute. When he's in the box, coolness of a striker. When he's in the midfield, calmness of a midfielder. What's it like coaching a player like that, and how have you seen him grow over the years?
Well, every player has very specific qualities. Ricky has a part of those qualities. He has a special energy, a special aura around him that makes him different. But he brings that. But Piero is extraordinary. Everything that he does with very different qualities. And what I want that is Ricardo and Piero is Piero, because with those two we are much better. The way they complement each other, the qualities that they offer, and that's what we try to build around the squad.
And Harry, BBC.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Hope you're well. Quick question on your job in general, because it feels like from the outside looking in that there's more information during a transfer window out there than there's ever been. Does that make your job harder? Has it ever filtered through to the point where you've had to have discussions to try and get ahead of things?
With all honesty, no, because it doesn't go through my eyes. It goes more through my ears, especially with Dan, that they feed me, what is going on, and my kids. That's it. Are you signing this? Or how close we are with this? The rest, I just focus on the information that I gather from Andrea, the board, or George in this case, to understand where we are with those transfers and what we are able to do and what not.